What is up, bookworms and constant readers? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about Jim Butcher's Stormfront. I finished the first Dresden Files book. First, let me say that this book has been recommended, well, this series has been recommended to me for quite a while by different friends, classmates, stuff like that. I've had a lot of people tell me that it was like the X-Files meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't know about that because I've never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm guessing because it has, at least this first book has demons and it deals with witches and vampires, that's where they get the connection. As far as X-Files goes, the detective element, I would say, was kind of a tie-in with the X-Files, maybe, the supernatural aspect of it. But besides that, I really didn't see it. What I really saw in this book, and I would love to talk to Jim Butcher and ask him about it, is was he influenced by the old like pulp fiction detective novels of like the 30s and the 40s, those old like radio dramas? Because this book, it has that old detective novel feel to it. And that's a good thing. This book is amazing. I cannot wait to read the second book, Full Moon. And that's Fool, Moon. But yeah, so what is this book about? So this book is about Harry Dresden, who is a witch. And he lives in Chicago, and he works with the Chicago PD on cases that are outside of the normal realms of what these detectives deal with. And he's called in as a consultant. This book, it deals with two stories. I guess it's not giving too much away, but at the beginning, the two stories, by the end, will converge into one. So he gets this mysterious call from a lady who her husband is missing. One of the things that Harry does is he finds lost objects, missing persons. He's not a detective. He's not a cop. He's not even really a private investigator. He's a witch. And this lady, her husband has been missing, and he agrees to help this lady find her husband. So that's one story that's going on. And then you have the main story, which is the Chicago PD call him in. The lead detective, I believe her name is Murphy, calls him in. There's been a double murder. This couple, they were having sex, and in the middle of it, both of their hearts were ripped out of their chest. And Harry knows like right away that it would take a really like powerful witch to do something like this. And so you come to find out that the guy is part of this crime family's crew, and that this girl is like a high class escort slash prostitute. And this is where the fun ensues. And Harry is kind of like one of those people that if it wasn't for bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. And what can go wrong will go wrong. That's like Harry's life. And this book, it was so much fun to read. I mean, it is a total page turner. I had planned on getting like a bunch of books read, and I made this reading schedule and everything. This book, it totally ruined that, because every day all I wanted to do was read this book and find out what happened next. Where was this story going? And it wasn't like a drawn out story. It moves fairly quick. There's humor in this book. There's action in this book. It's just an amazing story. And if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know the two main important things for me when reading a book is characters and the story. I don't like a story that takes forever to tell. I'm one of those people, just get to the point. Let's keep the story moving. I don't need every single little detail about everything. Tell me what I need to know and let's go. That's the way and that's what this book does. Even though it's kind of a mystery, thriller, detective type book, it keeps you guessing and wanting more, but it doesn't drag anything out. It is really fast paced, super entertaining, super fun to read. I cannot wait to see like where this series goes, because this book, 5 out of 5. If you haven't read the Dresden Files, you need to read the Dresden Files. There's not many characters in this book. Harry is the main character, and like right away you like Harry. As far as the Chicago detective, Murphy, I really don't like her. Her partner, I cannot remember his name. I want to say it's Carmichael. If that's not true, comment below and correct me. He is a total douchebag. I don't like him at all. Another character that is pretty comical and kind of like, at least in this book, almost like a sidekick to Harry is, I believe his name is Bob. And so Harry has this ancient human skull that he keeps in his lab. And there's this spirit called Bob that like lives in this skull. And he helps Harry with like potions and all kinds of stuff. The spirit, from the way they describe it, is like hundreds of years old and knows like all kinds of different things. Bob is hilarious. Like I said, it's like Harry's sidekick. There are love interest in this book. The one girl that is kind of in love with Harry, she's like a reporter, and you're constantly like, does she love Harry because she actually loves him, or does she love Harry because she's just trying to get a story? She is likable. You have the mob boss of the city, and he's like typical, mob boss. You don't mess with him. You don't mess with his criminal enterprise. He's like no games. Typical like Godfather-esque mob boss. For me, I really liked the guy. I liked his style. I like how he was portrayed. I'm kind of hoping that he'll show up in later books, have a bigger story. He had a pretty big story in this book. That's why I mentioned him. But yeah, the cast of characters, it's not very big, but you either like them or you don't like them. And Harry, he is just a extremely likable character. He's the hero of the story. He always tries to do the right thing. One that I forgot to mention is so there's a council that keeps watch over the rules of magic and wizards, and you really don't go into them too much. You learn a little bit about them in this book, and you find out that Harry got into a bit of trouble when he was younger, and he has this this watcher that looks over him, and that guy's name is Morgan. He is a total asshole. I don't like this dude at all. He's constantly on like Harry's ass. Everything like Harry does, he'll just appear out of nowhere and be like, "I'm telling the council on you, and you're gonna be beheaded." And yeah, he is just, he's not a likable character. I don't like him one bit. I'm really hoping he never shows his face again in this series, but we'll see. Highly recommend this book. This book was, I cannot put into words like how good this book was. It is a short read. It took me, I think, 3 days to read it. That's on top of reading like 5 other books, although they were kind of pushed aside for this one. But yeah, this so far this year, this is the funnest book that I have read. I have nothing bad to say about this book. I really thought long and hard before making this video. I waited, like 4 days, because I'm like, there's got to be something you didn't like. There's nothing about this book that I didn't like. I liked every single thing about it. It's written amazingly. It's super fun to read. If you're just looking for a good time, a fun, entertaining read, this is your book. So happy I started the Dresden Files. I wish I would have read these years ago. This book, it came out in 2001 is the copyright on this. So they've been out for quite a while, and I'm just now discovering it. Like I said, I wish I would have done them sooner. Definitely 5 out of 5. If you haven't read the Dresden Files, definitely check it out. Recommend it 100%. Awesome job, Mr. Butcher. Can't say anything negative about it. The best book I've read on the channel thus far. That's all I got for you today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, read more books.